Are you exhausted by all the drama in the world? And even though you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to focus on it, you can feel it. It's like seeping into the door, under the door seals and through the windows, and it's in the atmosphere. Well, my name's Sonia Choquette, and today I'm going to teach you the secret activation to rise above all this energy and genuinely take your power back and genuinely begin to experience a sustainable and lasting, not only relief from all this stress and tension and drama, but to actually kind of catch the current to a higher vibration in a really beautiful experience. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. We're talking about how to break out of ego constriction, break out of the belief that we're powerless, break out of what we call the third dimension, and begin to enter a new experience of who we are, where we really tap into our divine power. And to teach you the secret portal to finding relief and engaging genuine, powerful, magical power right away. So stay tuned, and if you're coming back, welcome back. We are in a committed process of evolving into the best and highest vibration of who we are. Now, today what I'm going to talk about is the power of the heart chakra, and that needs to become your new brain, your new central place of consciousness. And believe me, I'm not talking about sentimental, romantic, idealistic love. I am talking about a power in this organ that is 5,000 times stronger and tunes into the energetic field and connects with the creator that your outer senses and your logic brain just cannot do. So in order to rise above all this noise and stop being pushed around by it and troubled by it, some even traumatized by it, scared and manipulated, you want to begin to recognize that your heart is the new brain and that it can guide you to an entirely different, empowered experience. So I'm sure a lot of you are rolling your eyes and saying, oh, great, we're going to talk about love and kumbaya and group hugs, but we're not. That is not what activating the heart chakra is about. Activating the heart chakra is falling back into a genuinely loving connection with yourself, with your spirit, with your inner being, and recognizing that your inner being is a divine and powerful consciousness that can create, can manifest, can connect, can clear, can guide you, can do all the things that you want to be able to do in life, protect you and connect you and attract to you and uplift you and restore your health. All of that is an aspect of the consciousness, the awareness of your inner being, which lives in your heart. So if you're bummed out and you're not feeling the least bit amount of love, don't worry, because the way to evolve is to begin at the beginning. And truthfully, all this aggravation in the world and all this, it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse, is to push us to a point of saying, that's enough. I'm saturated. I can't do this anymore. I can't be in shock and awe and reactivity and victimhood and exhaustion and struggle and fear and anxiety and anger anymore. It's killing me. It is killing the quality of my life at any rate. And so that saturation point, when we're in an addiction program, we call that hitting bottom. And hopefully everybody who's on this channel anyway is feeling that. I've had it. This old way of interacting with the world, this old lens through my ego, through my outer senses, through the world of appearances, isn't working for me. I don't like who I am, how I feel. I'm feeling out of control, and I'm feeling exhausted, and And I rally and have my moments, but everybody else is dragging me down because that's what they're feeling. And how do I get out of this nonsense? Go to the heart chakra. Now, the very first thing I want you to do in terms of going to the heart chakra is actually putting your hand on the heart chakra, on this area. Now, we have a high heart and we have a low heart. This area here. Just put your hands here for a minute and breathe into that space. And open that up and then let out an ah. And do this a couple times. Just breathe in, ah. And just kind of open that up, because you can tell that you're not in the heart chakra, and you can tell it shut down and closed tight like one of those little roly bugs, because your body feels contracted. There's no space. And with no space, no good energy, no light, no guidance, no support can come in. They're all rolled up and like in the go away sign, in the go away mode. So, and it really helps to even just put your hands like this. And then pause and see, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. Nothing bad happened for me to open up. And just allowing some space here in your body, and then take it a step further into your gut. I'm going to open up and I'm going to just pause. And I'm going to test. If I open up, how do I feel? How does that feel energetically? Because we want to open up to start letting light and support and the things we're yearning for to come in. Guidance, for example, and reassurance, and good ideas, and connection, and groundedness. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, we certainly are bombarded with 1,000,001 things on a daily basis to react to have a negative response to get angry, like poke. But we've lost touch with what we love. And we have to start small. If you're really far away from love, you want to start small. And you want to be in the vibration of love. The way to move into the fifth dimension, into empowered space, into a truly intuitively guided life where you're no longer trapped in figuring it out, is to create and manifest for yourself a vibration of light, lightness, and love. And love not meaning who finds me valuable, who's going to take care of me. That's attachment. That's not love. That's ego attachment. That's the old frequency. Love is that internal, eternal, joyful feeling of, I like this. This feels good. I like this about me. I like this about life. So we're going to start super small. And with that breath, I want you to start naming out loud what you love about your spirit, about your inner being. Not about your life, not about your relationships, not about other people, not about your stuff, but what you love about your own inner being. Now, some of you will say nothing. That's just noise. That's just the old voices of others saying that I don't love anything about you because they're so full of their own negativity. So think about some simple things that you actually can say. Let's even start with like about myself. What do I like about myself? What do I love about myself? What do I accept? What do I enjoy? What makes me laugh? What makes me forget about my worries? Well, this could be that, I like that I'm resilient. I keep getting up and going. I like that I'm reliable. Or I love that I'm a good cook. Or I love that I have a sense of style. I love that I have a sense of humor. Those are reflections of your authentic self, your inner being, and that's the self that has power to create miracles. That self that loves you, that can be expressing love, that can be expressing joy. We all have a part of us, that ego part. I call that your barking dog. That is your ego self that's bark, 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 snarl, 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 territory, territory, and it's draining. But there's a self, the sacred spirit, your inner being, that isn't disturbed by any of this. And it might be that you've lost touch with it and it's like, oh my God, I can't find it anywhere. But start with one thing that you love about yourself. Or if you can't find that, then let's go to something even more basic. One thing that you love to do. Just one thing that you really enjoy. No matter, you can put all the world, the drama, trauma, noise, politics, earth changes, everything aside. And I love this. I love this because that's your eternal spirit. That is the divine miracle maker in you. And we got to connect. We got to connect to that to start pulling into this different experience. The world is pushing us that way by one aggravation or another. So we hit bottom, say, that's it. I'm done with fear and worry and anxiety and anger. And I'm going to go to what I love. I'm just going to not get the memo anymore that I should be afraid. I'm going to put the no one's home sign for that when that memo keeps coming at me. Not today. Don't receive that. No one's here to sign for that memo. That's a big change. Just for today. Just not going to take on that memo for today. And I am going to focus on either what I love about me or what I love to do a little bit. Could be simple as, you know what? I love to do laundry. I know my sister loves to do laundry. Now, everybody else will say, oh my God, why would you love that? But she loves it. It gives her a sense of groundedness and order, and she's really good at it. And when she does laundry, she forgets. She is not available to the lower vibrations. My daughters both love to cook. Absolutely love it. They get in that kitchen and they're in another world. They are in a world of love. They are creating, they are present, they are inventing, they're listening to their inner guidance, they're singing, they're manifesting, and that is what the spirit in us finds it's here for. That's what we're here to do, is to create in love. I have a client who really loves gardening. Now, he's in a relationship with someone, and they have been, it's an older gay couple, and they've been together a long time, and they fight on an ego level for a lot of reasons, and a lot of people do, because barking dogs like to fight. But when he's out in his garden, he is creating magnificent, beautiful creations, magnificent, that inspire people, that inspire him. He loves that. It's his miracle self. So we need to find your miracle self. And that self is the self we need to emphasize. The miracle self is your intuitive self. It is the inner being communicating to you. And it will not only manifest outwardly your creation, but it is a magnet to pull in your support. Because we love support. God knows that's all we want, is real, no strings attached, magnificent support. But it starts with finding your miracle self in your heart and what you love. I have another client who really, truly loves to just go for long walks. The longer, the better, and alone. Loves it. In fact, I love that myself, but my client goes for such long walks that he inspired me years ago by telling me how much he loved his walks, that he had walked the Camino de Santiago, he had walked the trail along the California coast, he had walked the Appalachian Trail. At the time, never occurred to me, never once, that I would be that kind of a long walker. He didn't even call himself a hiker. Because I love to walk. Well, when my life fell apart 12 years ago and my dad died, my brother died, my husband left, my life collapsed, I lost everything, guys. everything that I was attached to. I know, what am I going to do? What came to me is walk. And furthermore, walk the Camino, which I have to admit, I'm pretty spiritually aware, but at the time, it is not something I paid much attention to. I knew about it, but I said, okay, intuition, my divine self was not going to be a victim, and I was not going to be crushed and collapsed with grief and loss and fear and anxiety. That miracle self in me wasn't going for it. I hit bottom and just not willing to be crushed. I said, okay. And you know what? I had just had knee surgery because I was in an angry phase, and I was out boxing and kicking and smashing, and I bent down with this big old kind of barbell, and cracked my knee. So I thought, that's interesting. My divine miracle self says walk the Camino, and my knee is just had surgery. Now, this is the thing about your miracle self, and this is what's going to be required of you. If you've had enough, first tell the universe, I've had enough. Tell your creator, okay, I'm going to listen to my inner self now. I'm tired of being traumatized by the outer self and other people. I'm going to listen to my inner being. I'm going to listen to my inner guidance. That's the first thing. And if it gives you guidance, don't argue. I didn't argue. I said, okay. And I said, but if you give me this idea, you're certainly going to have to give me the ability to fulfill it. That was my agreement. It's like, okay, creator, okay, inner being, okay, guides, I'll do it, but you're going to have to help me, because the longest I've ever hiked is to the grocery store in Chicago, where I lived at the time, which was about 6 blocks away. Wasn't a hiker. I was a high heel wearer. But I felt it. I felt it. And so here's the other thing about your miracle self that's going to take you out of this mess and put you into the real flow. It will defy your logic. It absolutely will. Everything in your logic brain will say, you can't do that. Everything in my logic brain said you can't do that. First of all, it took 40 days. How are you going to step away? But I said, I don't know. I will do it. I have nothing to lose. I've lost everything, and I've lost my mind. So I'm going to at least go get my mind back. It'll defy your confidence. It's like, walk for 30 days, hike with a backpack. So I found a way. I found a company to take my bag, and I decided I could take a little backpack so I could be creative. That was inspiration from my miracle self. So I shipped my big bag, and I had a little bag, and I called my little bag Pilgrim, and my little bag, and I went every day. And I did it. It healed me. I actually wrote a book about it. You should, if you're curious, it's a great story about walking back to my miracle self after everything collapsed. It's called Walking Home, a pilgrimage from humbled to healed. And that's how I'll put it in the notes here. But so your God self, your miracle self, your heart self is not up here. And your brain self is going to try to push it back up here into you are powerless, you are not able to succeed. In which case, you have to be prepared and to say, doing it anyway. I'm so tired of this other way. I'm just not going to be held in that vibration anymore. Sick of it. We get it, like a lot of people who have been addicted to substances and have gone to rehabilitation and 12-step programs. They'll say you reach a point where you've had it. It's enough. And I hope that we reach a point where we've had it. Just like the people with other addictions, I'm no longer going to be addicted to drama. I'm going to choose drama-free zone. I am going to choose returning to my miracle self. I had a guy who was so angry. His wife had cheated on him with his best friend. His business partner had ripped him off. He was massively devastated. Marriage ended, business ended, big lawsuit, angry, considered himself quite the good guy. How did this happen to me? I understood. I went through my own version of that with my divorce and all the things I went through. But the ultimate conclusion you have to come to is that my ego self agreed to being in relationship and being in connections that didn't feel right. And I ignored it. That's how it happened. I ignored it. And man, what a painful lesson. But I cooperated. And that's a tough one. I know I would. I left on my Camino walk. I went on my 30-day walk angry. It's like, fine, I'll go on this damn walk, but I'm not feeling terribly forgiving. I'm not feeling terribly anything but just broken. But as I walked, bit by bit, I began to recover my miracle self. I began to recover my heart because one, walking gets you out of your head. It actually requires that you be in your body. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. It gets that brain talking to each other instead of fighting. Then it's head, brain, heart, brain, head, brain, heart, brain. Then it's heart, brain, body, heart, brain, body. It's quite exciting. So we're going to start there. What is your miracle self that you love? I'm going to do a series on this. So we're going to just, because I am not going to tell you or invite you to do a whole bunch of things you are not feeling. Having been through several periods of my own life where I was just pissed, exhausted, mad at God, mad at me, mad at everything, and feeling really trapped. I know that, and a lot of people are feeling that, or some version of that. So start with, I have had it. I'm going to recover my miracle self, my heart self, my inner being, my intuition, which means your inner teacher. It's a whole consciousness that is communicating to you, and it will defy logic. So we're going to start with what you love, and you're going to focus on it. And here's the big step one. I'd like to encourage you to engage in what you love for at least a few minutes a day. Like, leave me alone, everybody. I am going to go do my laundry because I love it. I'm in timeout from the world right now. I'm in love right now. That would be, and it could be 5 minutes. I know for me, I'm in love with my delicious cup of French coffee every morning, staring out the window, eating my yogurt with chia seeds, and listening to my angels and guides. I love it. No matter what is going on in the outer world, I know for that half hour, I'm in heaven. I'm in my miracle self. I'm at peace. I am peaceful. I am listening. I am relaxing. I am feeling transmissions go through my body. I love writing. I love this. I mean, you start following the crumbs of what you love. And then you commit to it. You commit to it. Now, if that seems like a stretch, I'm going to give you a suggestion that might surprise you, but it really works. Wear white. White deflects the negativity of the world. That's why a lot of spiritual leaders around the world wear white. I mean, it's not just like some random accident. It is vibrationally a deflector of negativity. So wear white if you're really feeling like, God, I cannot even access. I can't even hear you, Sonia. Just stop. Wear white. Wear a white t-shirt. Wear a white shirt. And just know that this is your protective field. You're just going to put this field around you of white to deflect so you can get to your heart. Now, the second little piece of advice before I finish for this week is if you can't get to what you love, talk about what you love. We talked about the throat chakra a couple of weeks ago. It's so powerful. It's the chimney of the heart. Now we need to let the heart speak. That's your miracle-making self. That is your intuitive self. That is the inner guide that will not mislead you. That is the guide that will make your life miraculously start working despite what you see around you. I promise you. Promise you. So start talking about what you love and really monitor what you're focused on and what you're listening to. If people are talking about the politics and the climate and the this and the them, leave. Just say, you know what, I gotta go. I forgot I had an appointment with my miracle self. Don't have to tell everybody that, but I have to go back home to my miracle self. I can't be in this energy. You know, I call that third dimension a bad neighborhood. Nothing good's gonna happen there. It's just not safe. It's a bummer. So come back home, put on your white. Remember, I'm going to do or talk about what I love. It is the beginning of finding your way back to your miracle-making, intuitive, guiding, personal, miraculous, life-changing power. And it can happen fast, really fast. And I'm going to relieve you of needing to figure out or think about what you want. Just say, I want to be in love. I want to be in love. I want to be in the vibration of love. Even for just a few minutes a day, I want to remember my divine self. When you were a child, you were in love. You were. It's natural. We're coming back home to our divine, miracle-making divine self. That is what all this drama is about, is to send us home. So what I would love for you to do, if you've learned something from this, please try it. Please put comments. Please put comments. And if you've got a negative self that wants to argue back, say, okay, I hear you, but until you try some of this, just pause. That's just your barking dog. It's like, okay, barking dog. And if you have a really loud barking dog, brain that's angry and pissed off and agitated and reactive, take your barking dog for a run. Can't run, go for a long walk. Calms it down. And as you're walking, once you start getting calmed down, start talking to yourself about what you love. Just name it. I love good coffee. I love beautiful underwear. Never mind the paramedics. I love it for me. I love seeing beautiful art. I love nature. I love birds. I love plants. I love beautiful clothing. I love the smell of fresh bread in the morning. Just get back into your divine God self. You want to open this power center up, because that's the whole point of all this drama. When you open up this miracle-making frequency, you are in direct, nonstop, uninterrupted conversation, dialogue with your higher self, to the point that your higher self takes over. And it will create miracles that your ego cannot even imagine. So leave comments, tell us your progress, tell me your challenges so I can address them next week. And if you're new to my channel, your spirit led you here. So please give me a like, thumbs up, but also more importantly, subscribe. If you're surrounded by people in the funky bad neighborhood, send this to them and say, join me. I've had it. Haven't you? Let's try something different. Oh, my love, everybody. We're going back to our miracle-making inner guidance, intuition in the flow, higher vibration self. Finally. All my love.